Hello, Collective. Wendy Joy, Love and Light. Did you ever consider self care to be a direct link to the energy that you carry, to the vibration that you um, illuminate, that you emit, right? Did you ever consider that? Because I'm here to tell you that self care is the first step in raising your vibration and, you know, being conscious of your awareness, even as infantile as it may be. Because if you're aware that taking care of yourself makes you feel better, not only physically or emotionally, and even spiritually, but also energetically, that it makes that smile easier for you to portray. And it may not seem so fake or painted, if you will, because sometimes we're just so programmed to give off a false face or hide what it is that we hold dear, like deep down inside, and present something that's just false or fake. Maybe close to the version or a glimmer of what could be, but the majority could be hidden from people to see. And I've seen this across my life in many different forms, held by many different energies. And I always, silently offered them strength and encouragement and courage mostly to be able to not be so much distracted by other energy, but worry about their energy and promoting growth within their field. And I'm doing that for you currently today because I can sense that there's a bunch of energies that may not know exactly how to raise their own vibration. And this starts with self care, eating healthy, right? Primarily trying to stay away from processed, chemicalized, artificial food, right? And to incorporate more nutrient dense food, whether it be flash frozen fresh or right from your garden, primarily things not within a can. Although, sometimes you can't get away from that. But what I can tell you is that if you are mindful of what you consume and you limit the amount of processed things that enter your body, it will elevate your frequency naturally, just like drinking fresh, clean water, staying away from heavy sugar saturated things or with, again, chemicals or dyes or, things that just aren't really good for your body. I used to ask my kids because, they always used to say to me, how come we can't drink soda? And I'm like, well, if you have to drink soda, you can only do it on a special occasion because really I'm limiting the damage that you do to your own body because you are willing and ready to consume what someone else said is healthy for you. And it's not. Have you seen what soda does when you pour it on, I don't know, painted surfaces? Guilty. I used to take soda and pour it on cars just to see the paint flip up. Now, granted, these cars weren't people's cars, they were junk cars and things like that. I lived down the street from, you know, a play yard of vehicles, if you will. We'll just say that. But what I do know is that when we are mindful of what it is that we consume, whether it be through our mouth or our eyes, like what it is we see, right? Or we hear, like what it is that we're being told, and, even what it is that we smell. We were given a multitude of senses so that we could use them and gather the information that they provide to us to use to our highest benefit, to lead us in a positive, healthy, high vibrational direction, quite honestly. Because if it smells bad, right, you're not going to eat it, you're not going to play in it, you're going to get away from it because the smell is like repelling you rather. And that could very much be something that's just not healthy for you in whatever sense that you were looking to, I don't want to say spin energy with, but everything has energy, and when we interact with it, regardless of what it is, we are spinning energy. So that's another thing to be mindful of, because as we're stepping into more of an enlightened awareness where people are using their intuition and relying on their inner knowing and allowing their true higher evolved selves to direct the path that we're on, to even present opportunities for us when we, in our human form, right, are ready to understand, perceive, and, embrace. And this is happening for everybody all over the world. And it's happening in everybody's specific timeline. And different things are being shown, and different roads are being granted as choices. Because remember, we all have free will. And if we choose to stay in low dense, stuck energy of so many yesterdays ago, then there's no hope in evolution, in evolving to our higher selves, because we trapped ourselves. And we do have the power to do that by allowing the unforeseen affect us negatively by laying different types of illusion at our feet. But when we are aware that these are just misillusions, maybe directed by a source that doesn't want to see you rise, regardless of where or what that source may be, you have the power through free will to cancel and rebuke and to embrace and to call upon, your higher self to lead your steps and to guide you in the direction that you once chose inevitably you would walk. And if you haven't gained all your lessons along the way, maybe exactly what you're looking to achieve is still far away. But that's where I come into play, because I can help you anywhere you are on your journey. Because even though this is a new quest, if you will, it's an old quest. And it's a quest that I've had my entire life. And I'm only expanding and evolving this quest to allow way more individuals to benefit from the healing that I can offer, whether it be through sight, sound, touch, energetic pulses, if you will. Because whether my eyes are open or my eyes are shut, my heart is still sending immense love everywhere to everyone. Because the best place for me to be is in the loving energy field. That's one of the highest levels that you can ascend in earthly form, in the 3D. And I've spent my entire life working out of love. And sometimes people in the past didn't perceive it that way, but that's because they were hurt and they were stuck in their ways. But when you choose to look at a situation through another set of eyes, or from a different energy field, because you chose self-care and you chose to naturally raise your vibration and naturally let the awareness land upon your feet, right? Because you're naturally, oh, you're, well, because you've raised your vibration enough to be able to understand and relate and, pivot and look at things through a different mindset. Life is ever changing. So we want to continue with the change that's going on. And we're not staying in yesterday's world. We're migrating into the future that we're creating. And I don't know about all of you outside of, high vibrations, but I'm looking to show everyone, regardless of where their vibration is, that interconnectivity and unity and love and abundance in every single form is a birthright that we were given when we incarnated onto this planet. And yes, the biggest gift that we received, other than life, is the ability to love and to be loved and to lead with love. I mean, we could lead with hate just as easily, but it's tiring and it takes a lot of effort, because when you try to force something that was never right to begin with, then I don't know how you think it's going to work or what benefit it's going to provide. Because when we harbor any type of negativity, it keeps us suppressed. And that's when we get left behind. So instead of getting left behind, instead of suppressing, instead of going to the negative in order to feel maybe superior, peel back your layers and find out why you think you need to be in charge of everything or everyone, or whatever the case may be that you're unwilling to let go of. Because we were never meant to hold anything for an entire length of time. That would get awfully heavy and very boresome. Like, been there, done that, right? So we were always meant to walk upwards, up the ladder, to soar as high as we can, to gather as much intuition, knowledge, wisdom, inner knowing, and then ask for more by calling it to us. I do this all the time. I call upon my spirit team. I call upon my guardians. I call upon the divine of high light and bright white love. And I am ready and willing to receive the knowledge and the wisdom, the guidance that is waiting for me, just simply by calling it in, by showing I am ready, I am willing, and I am able to understand, to pivot, and to move boldly forward in the direction I seek, toward the guidance that I thank you in advance for providing to me. Blessed be my lovely spirit team. I love you. And that's what I do. And people may say, you're so quacky. And I'm like, yeah, but no. Do you talk to your plants? Do you give your plants care? You don't just water them and put them in the sun and forget that they're there, do you? Because they strive on your oxygen. They give you oxygen, and you give them carbon monoxide, dioxide. I always get them backwards. Sorry. I'll apologize beforehand. But what I can tell you is that too is providing self-care. Understanding that your vibration, as you raise it by incorporating mindful, healthy, thankful things, positions, places, mindsets, then you will soon understand that because everything else is vibrating just as you are, that you could share or mix your energies. I do that too. So when I go outside, I say thank you to Mother Earth for providing to me that the fragrances of the flowers and the warmth of the sun and the warm breeze from the wind and the grounding from the earth. And I'm going on and on and on. I'm just so excited.